Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. Hey, it's Nate with another piano tutorial. Today I'm gonna do Imagine by John Lennon. This song needs no introduction. It's one of the all-time greats. Here's the deal. A lot of people have requested this song, and attached to those requests has often been something like, do the exact version that he plays, or something along those lines. The real piano part John played is a little quirky, and it lends itself to being simplified. So simplified versions are often what ends up getting taught or put into sheet music. I'm gonna show you how to play exactly what you hear on the record. Usually I teach a simplified version and then start adding more details as I go, but in this video I'm just gonna go straight ahead with the full piano part. That said, it's not super hard to play, just a little unusual in a few places, so let's jump in. Okay, so first off, I recommend getting the chords and lyrics chart. I put a link down in the description. You can print it out, follow along, see where the chords line up with the words you sing. And let's start by just getting our hands used to a kind of rhythm and pattern that's going to occur throughout the song in different ways. It's going to look like this. So you do need to be able to stretch an octave in the left hand. If that's a little tricky, stick with it because hands do tend to get a little bit more flexible if you just kind of push them and keep at it. And we're going to need to be thinking in eighth notes. So we're in 4/4 time. That means that each measure gets 4 counts. There's this sort of slow 1, 2, 3, 4 pulse, but we're going to really be dividing that beat in half, so feeling 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the way this is going to work here is on beat 1 we're going to play the low left hand C here. This is 2 octaves below middle C, while also hitting an E and a G here in our right hand. I'm actually going to use my first and second finger for now. And then that's going to be beat 1, and then on all the ands, the sort of in-between counts, we're going to hit the bass C with our thumb. 1 and then all the other even counts, 2, 3, 4, we're going to hit that right hand chord. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I'm just holding down this pinky here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Another note, I'm using the sustain pedal, just holding it down. I'm going to be using that throughout the song, just doing little lifts whenever the chord changes. I made a video all about that if you want to check that out. So given the sustain pedal, if you end up letting go of that bottom note, it's okay because we'll still hear it. Spend a little time getting used to that rhythm. As I said, we're going to be doing that kind of thing through the whole song, so you might as well just kind of have it in your muscle memory. But once you got that, let's do that main verse progression. It's going to sound like this. So it starts with a C add 9, and this is the reason why I use my first and second fingers here in the right hand, because that kind of allows us to stretch up to this D with our pinky, and that's the note that makes it that add 9. That's the 9th of the C scale. So on the first beat you hit that 9th, but then when you go back and forth for the rest of it, you can just do those 2 fingers, 1 and 2 and 3, and we want to still hear that 9th. That's where the sustain pedal comes in. And you got those 2 little slashes after the C9. That's to show the beats passing, because it's 1, 2, 3 on C, and then on the 4th and final count of that measure, we're going to hit a C major 7. So instead of that 9, we're going to put our 4th finger down on this B. So that's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and now we're going to go to this F. Our 3rd finger in the right hand should already be kind of hovering over the A. That's where it needs to be. And then we're going to go like this. The F is going to be F, A, C here. And for the left hand, we're going to stay with our thumb on C. That's going to continue to be the note that's hitting on the offbeats. Our hand's just kind of collapsing up into an F 5-finger scale. So the measure of F is going to be like just back and forth between a full F major triad with the thumb still doing the offbeats on C. 1 and 2 and 3 and da da da. So that is a very recognizable little melody that really kind of makes this part unique. So you're just stepping up A, B flat, B with second, third, and fourth fingers. I like doing that because it kind of leaves these fingers free to drop back into that C add 9 when you come around to the next line. Technically, those are 16th notes, so we're dividing the beat in 4, like 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a... But you can probably just do that part by ear without counting out the 16th notes. So here's that verse. I'll start singing now. I'll sing through that first verse and then talk about a couple other little details. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. So that time it doesn't do the ba-da-da. You're just holding out the F there, because we're going to then go to the imagine all the people. So we'll do that in a sec. One thing that's a little hard to tell by listening to the recording is, does he play this D for the C add 9 every time like that? Or does he just hit it once and then it kind of rings out because of the sustain pedal and then it goes back and forth? It sounds like there's some variation throughout the song. Some lines sounds like you can definitely hear it kind of hit each time, just gently. Other times it sounds like it's definitely just that. I think he was probably loose for it. I don't think there's a lot of use in like mapping out the second line of the second verse. He does it this way. Or if he was being loose with it, you can be loose with it too. But you do want to kind of hear it ring out over that. It's got a little bit of a strong presence, so I wouldn't like hammer away at it on every chord. So final little detail I want to mention with this piano part is the intro, which we kind of skipped over, is just 2 times through this verse progression. But the very first measure of the song, you don't actually hear that add 9, and you do hear kind of a lower piano chord that includes the 5th here. So the very first measure of the song sounds like this. And then you carry on doing the C add 9 every time. Okay, this next section we'll call the bridge. It doesn't really matter what the sections are called. This is what it sounds like. Imagine all the people living for today. So we're going to start off by moving our left hand up to these F octaves, and the right hand to fill out this F major chord is going to do an A and a C. I'm using my 3rd and 5th fingers here, and so we're just doing that back and forth rhythm again. But for the first time, the offbeat note is not a C. It's going to be actually the F. 1 and 2 and... Now for this A minor over E, the right hand's actually just going to stay on that A and E. Left hand's going to step down to the E. The thing that comes after the slash is the bass note. So A minor over E. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and left hand's gonna keep walking down with these octaves. Right hand's gonna stay in the same position. 1 and 2, and so we're on D there. This is the D minor 7. To make it the full D minor 7 chord, we need that F as well. So all of a sudden, we're basically doing that F major chord in the right hand, but the bass note is D. 1 and 2, and now we're gonna go down to this F over C. That's the chord shape, so left hand's back down to the C octaves, right hand is still doing that full F triad. An interesting thing here happens where the rhythm's actually a little different. He goes in that 2 beats, so 3 and 4, and you can think left, left, right, left. So far we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and that part, if that feels a little weird to you, you could just keep that other rhythm going, the That's what he does on the original piano demo of the song, but by the time he recorded it official, he had locked into this thing that you hear on the recording. Then finally, we're going all the way up to a G, so the left hand's doing these G octaves here for the bass notes, and the right hand's just gonna move up a hair and do B and D here. This is for the G chord, which is gonna be the first 3 counts of this measure. 1 and 2 and 3, and just for the 4th beat, we're gonna move up. This is for the C over G. 4 and then for the G7, we're gonna go all the way up to a D and an F here. So it's like a deconstructed G7 chord, like that, and that just holds. That's the first time that our 8th note rhythm pulse has kind of taken a little breather. So one more time through that whole line. Imagine all the people living for today. That part's a little high for my voice. We're already like 2/3 through learning the parts of this song. After that bridge, it just lands right back in. Imagine there's no countries. That verse is just like the first verse. It's just the words are different. Then we've got another bridge. Imagine all the people. It's just different words that time. And then we're going to hit the chorus. So the chorus, of course, sounds like this. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. And so on. So here's the chord progression for this part. It starts right in on an F, the exact same way we were doing it for the bridge. So left hand is on those F octaves, right hand's just on A and C. And so we've got 2 counts of that, 1 and 2, and stepping up that whole shape exactly for the 3 and 4 counts of that measure, 3 and 4, and this next measure is kind of a doozy. Something different happens on every count. It's going to go from C, so left hand goes down to these C octaves. It's the C add 9, 1 and, so the and is going to be on that C, left hand thumb, and then on beat 2, you're going to hit that C major 7 where we step down to the B, 1 and 2 and. Now we're gonna do something really similar up on E. So we're gonna come up to E octaves for this part, and then the right hand's gonna do A flat, B, and E for the 3rd count here. So just 3 and on beat 4, we're gonna do a D with the 4th finger here. 4 and, so that kind of turns it into a E dominant 7. Let me do all that again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So it loops around like that 3 times, and then on the 4th time it starts as if it's doing the same thing. So that's, and the world will be as one. And the very last thing that happens depends on which chorus. There's 2 choruses in the song. It's actually easier to talk about the last chorus first. So if that was the last chorus, we would just do, and the world will live as one. And you would just hold out that C add 9 as the song wraps up. The first chorus ends with a little bit of a weird piano part. It's a little bit tricky. We're just going to continue the 8th note rhythm through all the way until that next verse. It's going to sound like this. And the world will be as one. So when we got to the C add 9 there, we hit it. We hit this C. I'm actually going to hit that C probably with my right hand because that frees my left hand up to be able to get ready to go all the way down to this super low G, G, and A, and B, and. So we're going back and forth between this bass C and then just stepping up. Oops, I messed that up. G, A, B, and then by the time you get to the C here, we're back to the verse. It's a little bit tricky. I would just practice it slow a few times. And the world will be as one. Imagine no possessions. Cool. Okay, thank you for watching. We've talked about all the different parts now, but now I'm going to play the whole song through so you can see how all those parts fit together in a complete cover. If you enjoyed this and you're not already subscribed, please do subscribe. Click the bell so you know when I put out more videos like this, and have a look around the channel. You might find some other songs you're interested in learning as well. Give it a like and let me know in the comments what song you want to hear next. Okay, here's my version of Imagine. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you will join us, and the world will be as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of men. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only